Alright YouTube, now we're going to start video 2 on these rare variations. This one, as you can probably tell, is the PU sniper rifle, and you can see I did some winter wrapping of my own on the front of it. Basically, these are just regular 9130s that have been selected for superior accuracy at the factory and are drilled and tapped for scope mount. Now, a lot of people have trouble telling the difference between a reproduction one that Century is making now and an original one. So, before we go any further with the specifications, let me tell you how to do that. First things first, you've got to figure out which factory your rifle was made by. If it's made by Tula, it's going to have the little star and arrow on the top, like this one. If it's made by a chef's, it's going to have a nice little wreath with a hammer and sickle in the center. Now for a Tula sniper, it's kind of easier to tell than in a chef's if you've got an original. There should be a small little mark right up top here on the barrel shank, right over your star, that says CH or CN. CH and CN both stand for Sniperskaya, which means sniper rifle, obviously. It's an accuracy proof. Now, if you see that on there, you've got an original sniper on your hands. Tula never, and I repeat, never put the scope serial number on the left side of the receiver. So if you see a Tula that's got that on there, it's probably fake. Unless it's got the CH mark, then it might be one of the early Century repros where they had to put the actual rifle's serial number on the left side of the receiver to keep it legal. Anyway, another big feature of Tula is that on the scope mount, as you can see, kind of, maybe, not really, yes you can. You can see that they electro-penciled the serial number of the scope and the rifle on the actual side of the mount. Now this makes it really easy to tell if you've got an original scope on your rifle. If you see that the top serial number matches the serial number on the scope, then that is the original scope for your rifle. If the bottom one matches your rifle, then that's the original mount for your rifle. There you go. Really easy to tell if you've got an all-matcher. This one is an all-matching rifle. Now, a lot of these went through post-war rework, so you may not have the original stock, you may have a replacement magazine. This one, the floor plate was replaced and lined out. For the most part, the Soviets were very, very protective of their sniper rifles because they were more expensive to make than the infantry rifles. That, and they were a lot harder to make because maybe 1 in 200 sniper or 1 in 200 rifles was accurate enough to be considered a sniper rifle. The other big thing is the Ashevsk rifles. When you see an Ashevsk, it should say right on the left side of the barrel shank. Now I need to be very clear on this one. It has to be on the barrel itself. If it's on the receiver, it is not the original rifle. It should have the scope number here. It might be lined out, it might be ground off and stamped over, but that's an original sniper. If it's over here on the receiver, then it's not an original sniper. The other big thing is that the Century rifles that they're importing now have different screws in the mount. An original scope will have 2 domed screws on each individual adjustment knob. The Century reproduction ones have flat-headed screws. That's your first indication that it's fake. Now, the other thing is that these elevation screws right here on the mount should be staked in place. That means that somebody took a punch and actually smacked it on there to leave a dent so that the screw cannot be turned on its own. That is an original arsenal thing. That's how you can tell you've got an original sniper rifle that went through a government arsenal rather than being made in Bubba's garage. That's about all for telling an original, so on the next video I will do a little bit of detail about how these rifles were made and what they were made for.